This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Press the like symbol if you enjoyed any part of this video. Thank you. Hey, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Not going to go over what my blood sugar is right now because it's the same as the last video. Yes, I do these a little ahead of the time, but I do one a day, like I produce one a day, if that helps. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about how people perceive type 1 diabetics. Not type 1 diabetes, type 1 diabetics. As kids, as we get sick with type 1 diabetes, everyone is, oh, it must be so hard for you. Oh, this, oh, that. And to tell you the truth, when you have to live with it, you don't think of it that much. You need to be conscious of how people feel and perceive you. It really becomes an issue when you go applying for jobs and they may be very nice and saying, oh, I'm sorry, I don't think you're right for the job, meaning that they don't want to pay the insurance. There's a whole mass of things that they could come up with. Yeah, it's illegal. Even once you're hired, it can still be sort of like a door stopping your promotion. You always have to really excel that much more. In school, it was, you were treated the same as everyone else. A lot of times, not with every job, but because you are a diabetic, and I've told this story once before, I may have told it twice, but I was managing an optical store for years, and I always kept my insulin and my needles in my briefcase. Supposedly, my needles in my briefcase got knocked over and the syringe fell out. Instead of the person coming in questioning me about it, it was, oh, we gotta call HR. We have a drug addict. And even though my direct supervisor knew I was a type 1 diabetic, when HR said, oh, well, he's got to go and get drug tested. When I had the alcohol swabs, I had a glucometer, oh no, you have to go get drug tested. And my answer to them was, fine. What about every other employee? The only reason I have to go and get drug tested was because someone found a syringe in my, and there could be a very logical reason for that, but you jump to that one. And as you grow up being a type 1 diabetic, you're dealing with stuff like this all the time. you're called into question on whether you're taking care of your diabetes or not. I can just imagine, I wasn't working during the time, but I can just imagine that T1D, oh, you got sick with COVID, not COVID, T1D, sorry. When you got sick with the big C, not the first, well, you know, the one that has number 19 after it. I'm sure people would turn around, well, if he wasn't a diabetic. And what starts off as a concern for a type 1 diabetic moves into pity. That's all it really is. And again, a lot of times people can be sympathetic that you're sick for whatever reason. Could be diabetes, could be cancer. It's all, oh, you're sick because you don't take care of yourself. I got that while I was at work so often. For all the years I worked, my first job, which I was there for 20 years, 20 years, we'll say 20 years, was probably the best. They always treated me fair and honest. But we're not the cute young kids we used to be. And as kids, I can remember the CDA and years ago, other agencies wanting to use us as fundraisers. Because it would tug at their heartstrings. Now, they don't really tug at our heartstrings anymore. They don't utilize us. They don't show how well, when your blood sugars are controlled, how well you are doing. No one really wants to see that. So, while I'm in a care facility now, long-term care facility now, I have to be constantly aware. In here, I'm constantly judged. And I have a low blood sugar. What did you do? I have a high blood sugar. What did you eat? And type 1s is a very fickle disease, and that doesn't change over time. As a kid, we hear, oh, well, yes, he has type 1 diabetes. That's why he's having issues. As adults, we are expected to overcome these, and a lot of us do. But again, we end up being ill, learning how to take care, and if we falter, We seem to be penalized, very easily penalized for stuff. I can remember hearing, and this is second, that one time I called in sick because I had a doctor's appointment for another thing at the time. And it would be sort of like an all day thing. And I heard back saying, well, they said, you know, if he just took care of his diabetes, they weren't really even related. So growing up is difficult. Growing up as a T1D can be even more difficult. You have to show that you are able to grow a bit more and to learn. And with that, have a super day. Just making sure I covered everything. Show what you can do. Show that blood sugars don't affect you every single minute. That you can have bad days with diabetes. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not taking care of yourself. That's what I meant to say. And now, with that, have a super day. We'll talk later. Bye now. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Thank you. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.